Good evening, everyone. Let me just turn my camera off so I don't have to look at myself. That is extremely distracting to me. It's funny, every time I'm doing these webinars and I'm looking at myself, I find myself smoothing my hair and poking at my face. So it's far, far better to just not see myself. Um, Let me just ask Lisa, are you seeing and hearing me okay right now?
Yep, everything's perfect.
Okay, we're good to go then. And I do believe the record button is on. Can you double check that too, Lise? Yes, I see it myself. Okay.
Good, because I'm not finding it.
Yeah, it is. It's being recorded. Okay. This is a little bit different than the format that I'm used to working in right now. So I just wanted to make sure I've got it all right. Folks, welcome. Doesn't it feel like it's been forever since the last psychic hour? And it was only a little bit less than a month ago that we met. So I guess time is speeding up and so much is happening. It just feels like it's flying by, doesn't it? So welcome, everyone. We're going to have a fun time tonight. As we get started, let me give you a little bit of a rundown for those of you who are new, because I do see some names I don't recognize here, which is great. This is how it goes. I'm going to give you a quick overview of some of the things that I'm doing, and then we're going to jump into doing live readings right here online. And the way I work it, I try to actually give a decent reading so that each reading takes a little while. So I'm not going to get to everybody here. Okay, I'll do as many as I can, as many as my guides allow me to, because everything is channeled. Those of you who don't get direct readings from me tonight on air, well, you are permitted to send me an email either at Lisa, S-A-Inc. at AOL.com or to the email address on this site. I'll receive it either way. As long as I receive your email with your simple question for me before 9 p.m. tomorrow evening Eastern time, I will be glad to answer it. It may take me a couple of weeks to get to because I get a load of them, but I do answer them. You'll get your answer back. And when you send your question in, please include the same information I'm going to be asking our callers who call in tonight. That is, I want your first name. I want to know where you're calling in from or where you're emailing in from, what state or what country, because it's fun to know where people are from. I want to know what you are most grateful for in your life right now. I find that when we start focusing on what we're grateful for, what's good in our lives, we get to attract more of that good stuff. So let's immediately focus on what are we grateful for? So everybody just right now, take a moment to think about that. What's good happening in your life right now? What are you grateful for right now this evening? Because I'll be asking you that in your questions. When you ask me your question, that's my question to you. What are you grateful for this evening? Then I want to know what your sun sign is. Armed with your sun sign, I can find you in this chart that you see on the screen, which is called a horary astrology chart. And everyone who's here this evening is here on this chart, so I can find everybody. And what's interesting is that, as you know, my guides are astrologers, and when they answer the question live for one person, they're going to be including answers for almost everybody here on the call. So please do pay attention when I'm addressing somebody else's question, because your answer might already be there, okay? Also, then give me your direct, simple question, okay? And don't ask things like, gee, what's going on in my life right now? That is way too general. You may not get an answer. They'll answer you something, but it may not be anything that really interests you. Ask what really is on your mind, the specific thing that's on your mind that's bothering you or that you need an answer to. Okay, folks, let me give you a quick overview of what I'm doing right now, and then we're going to jump into our questions and answers. And Lisa, of course, is going to be choosing people. She's in the chat room. If you want to ask a question of Lisa at any point, just write it down in the chat room. She'll be glad to get back to you. And of course, she helps me out with everything else that's going on here as we do the session. Okay, first of all, this psychic hour tonight, the 23rd, the next psychic hour, on May 21st. Here it is in the bottom left-hand corner. Please make a note of it so that you remember to come back and that you remember to register. I do get a lot of people, and although they've increased the amount of people I can have on these calls, we still can kind of push the limit. And so it's a good idea to get registered and get here even a little bit early. If you are in my VIP membership, which is a great thing to belong to if you're interested in education, anything in the metaphysical field, I've got well over 300 programs in that VIP membership right now. So you can be studying for a very, very long time. It's all on audio. It's fully downloadable to your computer. It gives you your own little library to study with. You can listen to things on your telephone wherever you are. So it's really great. At any rate, and it's also very inexpensive to belong to. If you're already in the VIP, folks, our next coaching call is going to be July 13th at 7 p.m. So make a note of that. If you didn't hear my webinar that I do every year on what's happening, this one in 2023, that's on sale on my website for $25 right now. You know, I'm recommending it to people still because even though we're almost halfway through the year at this point, we are definitely at some very crucial points that I did cover in that webinar. And I find that being able to go back and re-listen to that, and I do myself, I listen to it, it's all channeled information from my guides. And I find that it helps me to deal with a lot of the things that are going on in the world and in my own life as well. So, you know, if you want to take a listen, it's available on my website. The price on it right now is still $25. As we get to the third quarter of the year, it'll probably come down in cost, but you know, at that point, you've missed a whole lot of the year. So it's a good idea to go get it now if you don't have it already. We have an open forum, folks. I started that about a year or so ago, and it's working beautifully. I really do hope you would like to visit it. Let me just slide this down a little bit. I want to show it here if I can find it. Open forum, is that it? Yeah, here it is. I found it. Okay, here's our open forum. And I just wanted to give you a quick idea how this works so that you won't be shy. Here's Carolyn Janowski posted just a few days ago, and she said that she's been doing tarot readings and she's been connecting with people right here on the open forum. And she's been doing practice because she's studying some of the classes that are on my website, and this is giving her people to practice on. So if you want to be practiced on, please contact Carolyn. She'll be grateful that you did. Okay, and here's Jen, who was actually studying something, and she's in the VIP membership as well. At this point, she joined. And so, you know, she's giving us some information about herself and all about how she got started. So if you want to share with like minds, here's something you might want to answer. We've got 21 comments here already. You might want to answer and get in on the discussion. This is great stuff, folks. And here's Tracy, who was actually doing some studying and had a question and something that she was studying. She didn't know how to handle it. And look at this, Lisa answered her. So Lisa and I both see this open forum, and also all the people who sign in on it see it. So it's here, folks, and it is for you. So I wanted you to know what that open forum is all about. It's yours. It's for you. Oops, I'm going to get back to that yet. I will be able to, I'm sure of it. There. I got too many screens open. There we go. Okay. So if you are looking for people that you can share with, exchange ideas with, practice on, people of like mind, people like yourself, in a very safe, this is not Facebook, folks. My forums are on my website. This is an open community that is monitored by me and Lisa. Nobody's going to come in there and come with a chip on their shoulder or nasty comments. Everybody's willing and eager to help and to learn. So this is a great thing for you to be a part of if it's, you know, if you need that kind of support in your life and you're looking for a safe place to get that support. So I'm inviting you. It's free. All you have to do is sign up for my newsletter, which most of you have already done, and you automatically are going to be given a membership in the open community. Just look in your library, you go to my website, you click and you click on library, because you've already become a member when you joined the newsletter. And there it is, open community. Click on that, you go straight to it. Very, very easy. And here are some of my specials coming up. I'm sure you guys have already been reading them. In April, we're not done yet. We've still got half the month to go. Well, maybe not half, but maybe a couple of weeks left, week and a half. My reading coaching special for April was finding, or is, I'm still doing it, finding your best path to financial security, recovery, and success. Right now, everybody is so worried about what's going on in the world financially. I'm sure some of the questions we have tonight are going to be about that. I'm giving you $50 off of my regular reading price, which is $300 for that half-hour reading. So the cost of that reading all month long is only $250. I'm also offering my beginner's level tarot class for $50 off right now. That was from April 1st through 30th. So if you want to study tarot, and remember, we do have the tarot program on audio in the VIP, which is your cheapest way to learn tarot. Okay, that program's only $20 a month to be a part of. But if you're visual and you want to learn through seeing my tarot program that is on the front of my website, it's right on the home page. It's all done on video. It's real easy to learn from. I've got lots and lots of people who learned tarot from that. And I'm giving you $50 off of that already very inexpensive program. And if you already purchased that basic program, get the advanced one for $50 off. And so guess what? You could even get them both for $50 off if you wanted to do it that way, the first and the second. They're both $50 off. That's a big, big savings. I don't think I've ever done that before, to offer them both in the same month like that for $50 off. Big savings on that program. Now, in May, my reading and coaching special is turning confusion and failure into success and confidence. And that's for you and your family, i.e. we're looking at the big picture, you and all the people that concern you. And I'm giving that to you, allowing you to purchase that for 20% off. So that brings the cost of my regular reading price, that's $300, down to $240 for May only. Folks, why am I reducing my prices like this for April and May? And I did it back in March too. It's because food has gone way up and gas has gone way up. And I know that things are getting tighter for everybody. And so this is my way of trying to make myself more available to people. These specials have to be purchased during the month they're good for, but you can use them anytime up until the end of the year. I also have a BOGO 50%. This is really cool. When you buy any educational program on the website, that doesn't include the VIP, okay, any program, okay, you can buy a second of equal or lesser value for 50% off, and that's all during May. Now keep in mind, this tarot special is still a better deal. So if it's tarot you're interested in, buy it now. If it's one of the other programs, even my upcoming Kabbalah Pathworking program, you can buy one for yourself, buy one 50% off for your friend. You and your friend split the difference. That's the best discount you're going to be able to get on the Kabbalah, which begins the first week in July. It's coming up quicker than you think. Kabbalah Pathworking, I'm also all during May offering $100 off, $100 off. And that special is $495 for that $100 off, okay? So folks, if you are interested in learning, now's the time to get involved in doing it. Do something special for yourself this summer. You know, honestly, without going into a whole lot of detail, the Kabbalah Pathworking is totally transformational. It's uplifting. You travel, literally learn to travel the other planes, learn to create your own reality, open psychic faculties you never even imagined, connect with your guides and your own higher consciousness. And right now, it's something everybody needs because we've got so much going on in our world that is difficult to deal with. Lifting your vibration to a higher level makes everything easier to deal with all by yourself, right? With the support of a group. It's wonderful, and the support of me and Lisa. So if you're looking for something to do with your summer and fall, this is a 6-month-long program. Only $495, meets weekly, has a full library presence and more and more and more stuff. My whole book is in it that I wrote. It's an amazing, amazing program. So if you're looking for something to give you that lift, something that's going to be the key in the lock to open your own personal next step, that may very well be it. Okay, Lisa, I'm ready to jump into our readings this evening. Who's
Okay. Sorry, I've been busy in the chat room. Did we give them what they need to give you when we
Yep.
call on
Yep.
them? Okay, then I'm gonna jump down here and call on Judy. Judy, can you, there you go.
Hello.
Hey there, Judy.
So nice to talk to you again. I've just been a listener this, last several sessions here.
My guides did see you, and so did I. So thank you for being here and even listening.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun for me, and it just seems like another extension of, my family / friends.
Yeah.
So I'm calling from North Las Vegas, and it's in my new home. I've been here for almost a year, and I'm just so happy to be here, which leads me to what I'm grateful for, which is my new home, my new community, my new friends. I mean, life is great. I'm out of California. Yay!
Yeah, I get it. I don't like to say, yeah, you're out of California, because my heart goes out to all the people who are still in California, which isn't the easiest place to be living right now. But I'm very grateful, like you are. I'm grateful that you are in North. I love Las Vegas. It's just a great place.
Yeah. You know where I'm coming from when I speak of California. The weather's great, the topography is great, but we know why those of us who left are happy we're left. I'm not going to go down that road.
Right.
I am a Libra, and my question is, for the last 2 months, my left foot has been bothering me, and I don't know what else to do for it. Yeah, most people would say I'll just go to a doctor, but I haven't, because one, the cost, two, I'm trying to do what I can to remedy it, and I think I've been doing all the wrong things, and it is getting better. The pain level's only been to like a 1.5, which is another reason why I'm like, let me not go run to the doctor and spend $1,000. So I don't know what else to do so that I'm back to normal. It has slowed me down tremendously, even though the pain level is only a 1.5, but I don't want to go full speed and then end up hurting it to where it now hurts to a 10.
Okay, here's what my guides are saying. And first of all, thank you for letting me know where you're from. That was the first. And your sun sign, Libra. So I'm going to jump in and address the Libra energy of this first. Then I'll go on and I'll answer your question after that. Okay, first off, most of Libra is up here in the house of friends and the groups that you belong to. So you jumped in and said, I'm so grateful for all the new friends and the place that I'm in and all the groups and the good people around me. There it is. Okay, right there.
Yes.
And the last 7 degrees of the sign is up here in the 12th house. And that comes to the question that you have, which really is, gee, I'm super concerned about my feet and walking and all that. Interesting, the 12th house relates to the sign Pisces. And Pisces rules the feet. Don't you love it?
Wow.
And not only that, but the house opposing the 12th house is the 6th. And that just happens in astrology to be the house that rules overall health. Okay. Now, the good part of this, okay, is that in the house of health here, we have Sun and North Node together in Taurus, which is very promising. It's uplifting. The Sun lights everybody up. The North Node says, wow, yay, good stuff coming. Jupiter says expansion of self. It's in Aries. This all is positive, happy stuff about health. The difficult part is that this is obviously something that has happened to you before, or perhaps happened to somebody else in your family, and so you know to be real concerned about it, okay? So while you were talking about the specific problem that you were dealing with, I was asking my guides, okay, is foot reflexology going to be helpful? And my guides jumped in and said 2 things, both chiropractic and foot reflexology will be helpful, but you must go to the right person. And they immediately popped into my mind a reflex, because there are many, many foot reflexologists in Las Vegas. It's one of their big things that they have on every street corner. I can recall myself going to a reflexologist there with perfectly healthy, normal feet and walking out with plantar fasciitis. She actually gifted me with it. So you really do have to be concerned that you go to somebody who's a real reputable foot reflexologist, not just somebody who's put a sign up on a street corner. Okay.
Okay.
reflexology will definitely be helpful with the right person. And they're also, the reason I said also the chiropractor is because when your back is out of alignment, and see, they're telling me that it's not just your foot, your lower back is out of alignment too. And
Hmm.
so, you know, your back may have got your foot, or your foot may have got your back, but you've got both of these things going on at the same time. And she's also showing me, my guide and your guide are showing me the calf is involved too. So you're going to have somebody who can do some massage on that calf, which is going to loosen up the tendons and muscles in the foot. Now,
Wow.
she also said, please tell her about you, Sandy. This is, by the way, I think your grandmother who's coming through as your guide. And man, is she talkative, but very knowledgeable. Okay. And she's, you know, like rifling through my brain like it's her own filing cabinet. I think that's really fun. But years and years ago, after I had that visit to that nasty foot reflexologist who gave me plantar fasciitis, okay,
Uh-huh.
I had the devil of a time trying to fix it. And I said, you know, this is crazy. I walked in healthy, walked out with a problem. I know I can fix it, but it didn't want to fix. It was stubborn. And my sister took me to a shoe store that sold all kinds of shoes that were for, you know, for people with feet problems. And she got me I tried on every type of shoe known to man. I finally ended up with Dansko, Dansko, wore them steadily, religiously for about 2 or 3 years. The plantar fasciitis just went away. Everything was fine. Now, I also said to my guides, is Dansko going to be the right manufacturer for you? They said, no, she has to find the right one, but the foot gear is extremely important to the healing of your foot. Okay.
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 So
So,
you think going to a podiatrist is not the right thing for my situation? Because most people, when they have foot problems, that's where they go.
well, that's not necessarily, you know, it depends on the podiatrist. You see?
Okay.
Yeah. And it also depends on exactly what your symptoms are. You see? I
Okay.
mean, if you've got a bunion, and that's not what you've got, but if you've got a bunion, then all the things I talked about are going to be worthless.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're dealing with, you know, problems with the arches and the tendons, again, I'm not going to write off the podiatrist. My husband went to a podiatrist that was absolutely phenomenal and healed his foot issues, which were pretty important. Okay, because otherwise he's a walking paraplegic. He needs that foot.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
mine just started, just to be brief, I know you have other people, but mine just started just out of nowhere. The top part of my left foot, like the muscles just like balled up in a knot, and I'm like, oh, I'll walk it off. Well, 2 months
Oh,
later,
worse than you
it
could have been. Yeah.
yeah, it has subsided. My foot does look normal, but that's how it started.
Yeah, what you're talking about is extreme tension, and you probably were carrying it in your, I don't know if it's the right side, but they showed me the right side. It probably started in your lower back, went right down your leg, went into the foot, went, you know. So all those things that relieve tension are going to help it. If you go to the wrong podiatrist, he's going to
Uh-huh.
want to start cutting the tendons to relax the foot, which in an extreme case is sometimes necessary. But my guides are saying you don't have an extreme case. What you've got is correctable. Okay.
Okay. All
So
right.
start with the lesser, and which is the non-invasive, and work up to the
Yeah.
invasive. Okay.
Yeah.
They show you doing fine. They
Oh.
say the real key for you is going to be the right footwear. Okay.
Oh.
Get off of those heels. Make sure you have good arch support. That bunching of the muscle on top of the foot is what starts plantar fasciitis. It doesn't
Oh.
start with the arch. It starts here and then the arch drops. Okay.
Oh.
So
Interesting.
you're on target for big stuff if you don't get on top of it. So
Okay.
that was a good question. Thank you for asking it. And
Yeah.
maybe that information was helpful to somebody else here too. I do hope so.
I hope so. And thank you so much for your help and your knowledge.
You're very welcome. Good luck to you. Keep in touch and drop us a note on that open community and say, let us know, you know, how it worked out and what your process of healing is, because it'll help everybody. Thank you. Okay, Lisa, who's next?
Okay, our next person tonight is going to be Deb. Deb, you're self-muted.
Good evening, Sandy.
Hi there,
Thank
Deb.
you. Hi, I'm from Northern California. I'm a Gemini, And what I'm most grateful for is most of our snow is melted and we're going back to work clearing pine needles for people. It's nice to get out. My
Wow.
question, my question tonight, oh gosh, yeah, your foot thing was so helpful because I have, well, it's probably a little worse than the ladies before, but you said I hope to help somebody, and yes, it did. Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
My question is, we're going to be putting our house up for sale,
Well, hold on,
and
hold on to the
okay,
question for a moment, because I want to take a little bit of time first to address what's going on for Gemini, okay?
okay.
And while I'm talking, close your mic, because you and I are getting feedback between us. As soon as I'm done talking, you can open it back up again. I'll let you know when. Okay, the sign Gemini is up here in the 8th house on this horary chart. Remember, this is a throwaway one-night chart. This is not your natal chart, but this is where you are tonight, okay? The first half of the sign is in the house of relationship. And so right now, relationships with, you know, your one-on-one relationship with your spouse or partner, your one-on-one relationship with your kids, your any business one-on-one relationships, your relationship if you're selling your house with the people you're selling to, all very important and very much on your mind, okay? But the bulk of your concerns are going to be in the 8th house, which is all about money. And here's that moon and Venus both in Gemini. And this is, I think, the core of your question, because you're going to be looking at, as everybody is right now, 8th house is a money house. It's a powerhouse. It's always about how to get control of my life. It's about banking. It's about other people's assets. And so you're going to have all these things on your mind. You know, how to get the most money for my house, how am I going to get the best loan for the new place I want to go to? You definitely have it with Moon and Venus conjunct. You definitely have in mind exactly what you want. And now there might be two what you wants. Gemini always seems to have that, I could do this or this going on, but you pretty much have a good focus on what it is that you want. The big thing is how to get the financial backing together and pull it all together and make it happen. And there's that impact meeting. Now, if you are a Gemini, a Virgo, a Pisces, or a Sagittarian, you're experiencing those same emotions. You know what you want. You may be a little bit divided on what you want, but by and large, you're pretty focused. You don't know how to get there. So there are concerns on how to get there, how to get the backing, how to get the people that you must rely on to work for you the way you need them to be working for you to be able to achieve the results that you want. Again, if you're a Pisces, a Gemini, a Sagittarius, or a Virgo, you are experiencing that. Just like if you're a Libra, an Aries, a Cancer, or a Capricorn, you're probably very concerned with those health issues, maybe even feet, leg, back issues that we were talking to with our first caller. Okay, now what's your specific question? Unmute.
That was pretty accurate. That's why we're selling to get out of everything. And yeah. My specific question would be if your guides have any advice towards family healing. That's one of the reasons we're selling and leaving, not just financial.
Right.
And if they have any idea where we're going, because we don't care anywhere in the United States.
What I'm about to say you're not going to like, though. I'm going to ask you a question, but I think I already know the answer. You're concerned about some of the older or a older woman in your family, yes?
Older woman? No, I'm probably the oldest one in the family.
Okay, then is it the other way around? Are they concerned about you?
I'm sure they are with everything that's happened.
Okay, because what I'm getting is there's the older person who needs who the family thinks needs the help. There's the family that the older person thinks needs the help, right? And my guides are giving me this card. This is the card you're not going to like. It's the 10 of Wands and it's inverted. Okay, and it's saying family is wonderful. And believe me, I know it. I've lost all of mine and I miss them desperately. So family is wonderful, but be careful what responsibilities you take on. So any responsibility you take on relative to that extended family, and especially health issues, in the extended family. Any responsibility you take on needs to have a beginning and an end. And you need to be able to say that going in. You know, what help I'm offering right now is temporary, or this living experience right now is temporary. You get what I'm saying? You need to set boundaries. I suspect that your family experience is wonderful. These two planets together are beautiful. The moon and Venus together, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of caring, there's a lot of super communication and support. This is all good stuff. But that's not, you know, if you get close enough that you now are saying, okay, I'm going to be responsible for taking you here or doing this or living with you or. And as you are changing your living circumstances, those things have to be taken into consideration, you see? For example, if you were thinking of selling your big, beautiful house and moving into a house that you were sharing with your daughter, I would say, you know, think twice about that. Okay.
Okay, yeah, the only thing I can think of is, yeah, we were thinking about his brothers, so that answers a question that I wasn't even really thinking about. Yeah, and right now, pretty much my family doesn't talk to me because of stuff that's happened with other family, so it doesn't matter where I go.
Well, let's take a look at that for a minute, because here's this. Go ahead and mute your mic so people can hear me talk over that. We've got that mic echo thing going on. I don't know why this program does that, but sometimes it does. So here's this Neptune Venus, and it's making us or Moon and Venus, which is really happiness in that family experience. But this is talking about your own individual, like where you are. Okay, you're happy in what you've created with your, I don't know, family, friends, or whatever, but the people that you consider family. But there is a square that's a hard aspect going to Neptune. And if you have children or people you consider children, or if that brother you talked about was like a child to you when you were younger, or like vice versa, this square aspect, that says that there's a total lack of understanding, not just communication, a total lack of understanding there. And if you were going to try to get closer to whoever those people are, that you might seek to develop a closer relationship, that communication has to be cleared up before you could do that. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. There's a big misunderstanding where they think it's a lot bigger, and yet everybody's like, okay, we're done not talking.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'll just move on.
Yeah.
That's the way I looked at it. I know they're all my kids, but I'll move on.
Okay, and this is what this card is coming up with, that says, put the burden down. Okay. What apparently there was a long time where you were holding yourself responsible for their understanding, or responsible for them to appreciate where you are coming from, i.e. you felt like you had to be responsible. And that card is saying, put it down. You're not the one responsible for this misunderstanding. You get it?
I do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, and good luck with your move. I think it's going to work out beautifully, and I think you're going to have what you want. The best advice I can give to you is put yourself in a place where you can be independent, where you have people around you that you love, but you can be independent from them as well. You know, like I said, don't be responsible for others that you have no control over. And here's the real big one for you. You are intensely creative, and you haven't really been able to exercise that creativity in a long, long time. So be in a place where you can utilize that creativity, and yes, be in a healthier place as well. Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you. You
You're
just
welcome.
answered my question completely. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Lisa, who's next?
All righty, our next person tonight is going to be Ryan.
Greetings, how are you?
I'm good, Ryan. How are you?
Good, thank you. My name's Ryan. I'm from Philly. I'm a Pisces. And my question is, can you connect with my highest self and deliver any important messages about what's going on with my spiritual development and transition, especially with the beings in my consciousness? It's been very difficult past few weeks spiritually, and I just need some see if they have any messages for me. Thank you.
Yeah, Ryan, you guys are really like lumping everything together. You're coming in so fast, but I'm gonna slow it back down and do the general thing and then be more specific. I've got a bunch of cards I pulled for you, and I do know we're gonna get your question answered. Okay. First off, if you are a Pisces like Ryan, folks, you're falling into this fourth house. See, this is Saturn here in Pisces, and a little bit of you is in the fifth house, which is that childlike part of you, and Neptune is here. So there are actually a couple of planets messing around Pisces right now. You know, there is this extremely powerful desire. If you're a Pisces, a Virgo, a Gemini, or a Sagittarius, we're back to those mutable signs. There's a real powerful desire for you to escape. Okay, that's this planet over here. It's like, I want to run back to happier times. I would like to go back to my childhood or to places or people in the past where I felt safe and more comfortable. But guess what? You've tried the escapism, and that only led to more heartache and hardship. So right now, Saturn is coming in, and Saturn is saying, be responsible, take charge, put your feet firmly and solidly on the ground, look with clear eyes, see what's what, and then move on your desire. But get your groundwork done first. Don't just jump blindly, okay? And that goes for everyone who's a Virgo, a Pisces, a Gemini, or a Sagittarius, okay? We already talked about this moon and Venus and the whole thing about the importance of financial issues right now. And it's very, very important. Look at how these two planets are squaring, both Saturn and Neptune. Very, very important to be fully responsible financially right now. There's a lot of things going on in our world financially, and you need to put yourself in a position where you know that you're going to be able to, you know, pay the bills, pay the rent, take care of the basics. Put yourself in that position so that no matter what's happening in the world, you are safe and content and comfortable. Now, Ryan, I think that's actually one of the things that's causing a disturbance right now. I suspect that, well, first of all, I know that you've been on a spiritual journey for some time, which is not unusual for Pisces. My first astrology teacher told me that Pisces, as a group, Pisces usually spend the first half of life accumulating stuff and getting a solid foundation under them. And the second half, they spend on their spiritual journey. Well, Ryan, it's kind of like you're ready to jump into your spiritual journey, which you really feel like you've been on all of your life. And there's one roadblock after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. So it's like, you know, 3 years ago, you could do these wonderful meditations, and now you go into meditation and your brain won't stop. And the phone is ringing, and people are knocking at the door, and the dog is pooping on the floor, and it goes on and on and on. And you're like, what the heck is going on with my life? Why can't I be on track and be the person that I know I'm supposed to be here for? Okay. How am I doing?
Completely inaccurate. And that doesn't really apply to my situation or what's happening to me spiritually.
Okay, tell me about it.
Well, I'm sort of like a walk-in for an ET, and there's a lot of things going on. I mean, just especially with the beings in my consciousness, it's been incredibly difficult the past, well, few years, but the past few weeks it's been difficult, and about what's, you know, I did different contracts and soul contracts with these beings, and it's just been very emotional and about what's happening. So I'm not sure if you're able to tune into any of that, but it doesn't seem like you were able to tune into any of that.
No, I think we're talking the same thing. We're just using two different languages. So when you're going to get a recording of this, go back and listen to what I said, because everything you're talking about is there. Okay.
Okay.
You were just telling me that the ability to connect with these beings was very clear and very open, and now it's getting very discordant and very confusing and very difficult to do.
It's not confusing, but it's just been very difficult.
Right. That's what I said. Okay. And so here you've got the need for grounding. So where are you getting grounded?
Meditation, prayer, intentions, law of attraction. I do that daily.
Okay, because the more your question was how to get this clearer information, the more grounded you become, the better it's going to be. And there's something else I'm going to share with you. I've talked about this in the past. We are moving from that third dimension through to the fifth dimension. Okay, and your guides and these beings you're channeling have been telling you all about that information. We're changing dimensions. Well, this is literally a physical move. A lot of people aren't getting that. It's a physical move of planet Earth through space. We are literally changing dimensions energetically. Physicists would be able to prove this and show it. So as we're changing directions, you know, your guides are coming from many different dimensions. And as we're shifting, the method of making the connection has to shift with them, okay? And you're going to be adding new ones in. You're going to be, some of them aren't shifting dimensions with you. New ones are going to be found. The old ones that you want to recreate with, when you can visualize them, imagine how that connection felt, feel the connection coming from them to you, and then follow it back, because it's got to find a new route, because we are no longer in the same space relative to them that we were a year ago or 6 months ago. Now, did that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to talk Pisces. Folks, this is so cool because we got a true blue Pisces in here, and Pisceans do not think like the rest of us, okay? You think energetically. And I think that makes, I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else on the call, but it makes sense to you. So whereas somebody else I could talk to and literally use the language, you have to get it energetically or you don't get it at all, okay? But energetically, that's what's happening. And so you've got to be super grounded, but then focus on the memory of how it felt to be connected to that guide. Focus on that guide and then bring the energy through to you. And then you'll be able to keep that connection no matter where we go in this great, wonderful galaxy we're moving through.
Great advice. I appreciate it. And that's
You're
exactly
welcome.
what I do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Very welcome. Be well. And remember, keep your protections up. That's my last comment for you. That's part of the grounding as well. And you know all about
Seraphim
that.
angels do come around and protect me.
Yeah, my guides are saying you've studied all that, and so you're good at it. Don't forget to do it. It's real important right now because we're moving through uncharted waters, and we can really encounter a lot of things that not necessarily evil but maybe not good for us. You see, so the protection is really important. Okay,
Thank you so much. Good night.
you're welcome. Good night. And Lisa, who's next?
Okay, our next person is going to be Jennifer. Jennifer, can you unmute yourself?
Hi guys, how are you?
Hey, Jennifer. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. I'm grateful for you taking my call, for my family, for my health. I'm a Leo and from California. Hate it. And I'm just curious if I am listening to my guides correctly when it comes to my newly discovered half brother that I met a year ago and his wife.
You know, let me go back to the beginning again. As a Leo, you're a fixed sign. So what I'm about to say, folks, is going to appeal or it's going to connect to you if you're a Leo, if you're an Aquarian, if you're a Scorpio, or if you're a Taurus. Okay. So this is a generalization. Here's Leo right up here on the top of the chart. So you've got a lot of stuff going on in your world right now that has to do with things like long distance travel and long distance connections with people, higher education, but also maybe a change in where you're living, a change in what you're doing for a living. So you're looking at a lot of shifts that you're in the process of thinking your way through. And again, if you're a Leo, a Scorpio, a Taurus, or an Aquarian, you're doing the same thing. You have a relationship partner, most likely, that's going through a lot of changes and shifts right now. This might very well be, in your case, that half brother that we're talking about. And it may be that that partner, and you might have another partner who's going through these changes too. This planet is Uranus, this planet is Mercury. This talks about the close friend, sibling, maybe the relationship you have with your husband or your wife. And guess what? That person's going through a whirlwind of change and shift in their life situation right now, which is making it very hard for you to figure out what you want to do with your world and your life if you're trying to build it around that person. So again, we're going to come back and talk about the importance of you, and that you really have to focus on you, not the other person that's so close to you, because you may end up needing to be the foundation, the grounding point to hold that other person's life stable while they go through their changes. Do you see? So it wouldn't surprise me if there are some people around you, you fixed sign Leos, Scorpios, Taurians, and Aquarians, that you're having a lot of problems with, who seem like you've totally changed within the last year and you don't even know who they are anymore. But the key is, don't you change. You stick to your guns, you be solid. Pluto's in Aquarius, that's another fixed sign. Pluto is beginning the point of transformation, in this case of how you think about people, how you think about your world, how you think about what you want to be when you grow up, how you think about your values, how you think about what your own life journey is. Just remember, and it's good that as a Leo, you're asking me this question, this journey is really about you. And the other people will fit into your life, not the other way around. If you start trying to fit into all of theirs, you're going to miss the boat. Okay, now what's the specific question about this person? You wanted to know if you're maybe are you getting the right guidance or not getting the right guidance regarding them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As you were asking those questions, I was pulling cards, and my guides say, first of all, you are very plugged in. Your intuition is very high, very strong. I don't know if you teach psychic development or intuition, but you certainly could. You have very strong connections, or maybe some kind of coaching. Okay, you have the ability to really teach people to get in touch with their emotions. The thing is that relative to this particular situation, you're right on to ask that question, because you're not. And you see, you're not. But that's because, it's not because you're not getting the right information. It's because you've already formed an opinion and that person is changing. You see, right now you can't form any opinions. You have to simply accept and reevaluate on a constant basis. Does that make sense to you?
100%. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, you're plugged in, but you're going to have to plug in every day because the answer is changing every day. Okay.
Every day. Yes.
Yeah.
You're,
Yeah.
wow. You're always great, but my God, everything you hit it right on.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Oh,
And
you're
good
welcome. Thank
luck
you.
with it. You've got lots of changes coming up yourself. And that's why I said, focus on you. That way you're going to make the ones that work best for you. Okay.
You got it. Thank you so much.
Welcome. And Lisa, who's next?
Alrighty, our next person, excuse me, is going to be Vonda. Vonda, can you unmute?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, Vonda.
Hi, how are
Good
you?
with you. I'm good, thank you.
Very
Okay.
good.
So tell us about you.
Well, I live in South Carolina now, and I'm an Aquarius, and I am grateful. I'm grateful for the clarity in my healing right now where I stop self-sabotaging.
Awesome. Awesome. And you said you're an Aquarius, so let's take a look at what's going on for Aquarius. I did talk pretty much about the fixed signs just a moment ago, but let's also look at, and this is a good time for me to mention that, you should all be keeping your Pluto journal. Remember Pluto here at 0 Aquarius, okay? Pluto went into Aquarius on March 24th. Please, if you're anybody, including me, who's a Gemini, if you're anybody, okay, not just fixed signs, because this Pluto transit into Aquarius will affect all of us, okay? And so your diary, more powerfully though, if you're an Aquarian, okay? Start your diary on March 24th, keep it through June 2nd. And that diary, my friend, is going to show you where your next 20 years is going. That's an important diary. I've been talking about that in my newsletter, and I hope everybody's been paying attention, because this is a very important time we're living in right now. And it's very easy to get distracted from all these little hints the universe is giving us as to what's coming in our lives, because we're getting distracted into all these little fears and worries and concerns and changes and shifts and oh wows. Okay, but we really, if we keep that diary, we can look back 5 years, 10 years from now, and it's going to give us direction. Okay, so keep that diary. While it's in Aquarius, folks, Pluto is going to totally transform every single thing having to do with Aquarius. In my newsletter, I gave you a whole list of things that Aquarius rules in astrology, everything from science to engineering to moonshots to data retrieval to computers to, it's copious. It's a huge amount of things. And just look at the things it rules and know that Pluto's going to transform all of those things within the next 19 years. Okay, so how is it going to be affecting you specifically? Here we find it in the house of communication, and it is making a hard aspect to the house of health, to Taurus, Sun in North Node, and it's making a hard aspect to that subconscious mind. That tells, which is the 12th house up here, Scorpio, that tells me that things like meditation, things like building maybe a meditation room or space for yourself into your environment, very, very important for you to have I'm going to say and hopefully in North Carolina you're getting it, the space around you where you can create your own peace, okay? This is a T-square, and it exits into what would be the 9th house, which is that move that you have already made, so you made it right on schedule, okay? There may be, I don't know if you moved closer to family, or further, but by the time this transit's done, you are going to be living close to family, or there will be people around you that you consider family who will be very supportive of you, whereas perhaps in the past they weren't. Okay, so what's your specific question?
Well, that is all very true. And it kind of comes down to what you're talking about with this move. I came down here to be with a wonderful woman who also has a son and shares that son with an ex that is not kind. And I feel like me coming here took him away from her. And I just want to know if there's anything we can do to help get him back.
This is interesting. You know, this card that I just pulled is the star, right side up. And I know you do a little bit of tarot, so this is going to hit home. The star is the best card in the deck. There's not a happier card. It says the best of everything is available. And here's the question I asked when I pulled that card. I asked it for you. I said, did your coming there really change that relationship with the son so that he should be closer to that father? And I got the card right side up. So that's a yes, but it's the star. Guess what? This needed to happen. So here you and she are really upset because you think you've destroyed the kid's life and you think you've destroyed her relationship with the child. And what this is going to do is to totally turn things around for that kid in a way which is going to give him his life. i.e., best thing that ever happened. You just don't know it yet.
Good.
Okay, I know it's hard to see. And, you know, my guides are playing this whole scenario out, and what they're saying is that, you know, this kid doesn't know who father is, okay?
Right.
Who he is physically, but he doesn't know who he is. And in those situations, and now this is more of a counseling thing than just psychic information, but your grandmother says, actually it's your aunt who's a grandmother's sister, says, give it to her, okay? At any rate, the thing is that as long as he didn't know his father, he's only hearing about how nasty and rotten his father is from his mother, you see? And so because his same-sex parent, who's his role model for being a man, has been pushed out, he has a tendency to, you know, he loves mom, he sides with mom, he doesn't want to see mom hurt. But then he says, well, you know, maybe mom did this. Maybe mom's responsible. You know, mom doesn't want me to see him. What's this all about? You see? So she, without even doing anything, she was a culprit. And that was an unconscious something he was holding against her. Guess what? He's going to learn who dad is. Wow. He's going to know exactly who dad is. And then he is going to be able to look at those traits within himself and pick and choose which ones he wants. Is that making sense to you?
Yes, it is actually.
So he's going to turn out to be a far, far better person and a better son, and her relationship will be better because of this situation. Okay?
Okay.
So, you know, now the whole thing, did he make that move because you moved there? yes, but he actually needed to make that move a long time before. And he didn't do it because his mother was holding on to him so hard. You see?
Okay.
So you made it happen, but you didn't really make it happen. It was supposed to happen. Okay?
Okay.
And I don't know if she's listening with you or if you can tell her that information or tell her where to go to hear the replay, because I think that information is going to be important for her too. And when I ask, is she going to have a relationship with her son in the future? For a while, it's going to be iffy because he's going to play him back and forth. But you know, the kid is not stupid. The kid is a smart guy. And
Very.
in the future, she's going to have a much better, much cleaner and clearer relationship with him because of all this. She's not going to have to protect him from his father. He's going to know exactly who his father is. He's going to have created his own relationship with his father, separate from the one. He's not going to be in the middle anymore, and she's not going to have to feel that she has to save him, or vice versa.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good
Thank
luck
you.
to you, and enjoy your new home. I think it was a
Thank
good move.
you. It was. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. And Lisa, I think we have time for one more reading, one more person.
Alrighty, that lucky person is going to be Patty. Patty, can you unmute?
I'm there. Hi, thank you. I am lucky. I feel very lucky. Very
Good,
blessed.
good for you. It's a lucky night, Patty.
It's a lucky night. All right. So, my name is Patty. I live in Oregon House, California. I'm really grateful for spring and the help I've had in my garden. And let's see. Did I say I was Cancer? I don't know if I did or not.
No, you didn't, but that is important to know. Let me show you where Cancer is. I'm glad we're finally, we didn't talk to any other cardinal signs except for our first caller who was a Libra, and I didn't go into the cardinal signs very deeply with her, so we'll do that now. But guess what? My guide said when you were grateful for being out and working with all the help you're getting in the garden, they told me all about the help you're getting from the elementals. Are you aware of that?
Oh, I have so many. It's amazing. Everywhere I look, they're in my
Uh-huh.
trees.
Yes,
And
yeah,
so,
there's your feedback. It's not your imagination. They're all over.
cool.
You must be one of those people that they are simply attracted to. And yes, did you ever read the Magic of Findhorn? In fact, there's a whole array of Findhorn books. If you haven't read them, look them up on Amazon and get a couple of them because they're really good and they'll help you grow, bigger fruits on your trees and bigger vegetables in your garden.
That's
Okay.
fun. Okay.
Okay, so here she is. She's a Cancer, and I wish I could say differently, but Mars is going through Cancer right now. Part
Mhm.
part of Cancer is in the 8th house, the money house, and there's Mars right there. So money's going to be a worry, and that's big for you because Cancer is the most insecure sign of the zodiac, especially about money and stuff. And so when your financial stability is threatened, you tend to get freakish and weird, and you don't even know you're doing it, but you're not easy to get along with. Okay, so there's a lot of worry and concern here. And notice I'm just saying worry and concern. It doesn't mean it's actual. So before you get all concerned, go and count what's in the bank or not in the bank. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and I'm just my guides have been screaming at me, and they're telling you this specifically, that if you can, and I don't know if you can get your cash out of the bank, but put it into gold and particularly silver, okay? And also digital, they're showing me those things for you. I don't know if you're doing any of that stuff, but apparently you or somebody close to you is suggesting that. It's not a bad idea, okay? You also, because you have part of the Cancer sun here in the 9th house, so you're another one of those Californians who are really thinking about either moving or doing a lot of traveling, okay? And that is totally going to be up to you, okay? I see
Yeah.
a hard aspect here to Chiron, and it's in the 5th house, and I think there's an issue here with children. So I don't know if perhaps you have children in the area that you're living now that you don't want to move because they're there, but there seems like there's family that's kind of complicating things, okay? My guides are saying that here we go again, if you do what you know to be right for yourself, And don't cut anybody off. Just do what you know to be right for yourself. It's going to work out for everybody. You know, you have to follow through on what your own inner self is telling you. If you don't, that's when you start to cause all the trouble. Notice I said you cause it.
Right.
You,
That-
you know, you are definitely the instigator of your own trouble. At least that puts you in charge. That's always good to know. The T-square that's happening here, because part of fortune is in Libra, there's a T-square that's exiting into the second house that says to me that you do have the talents and the abilities and the skills and the financial foundation to be able to do what you want, go where you want. You just have to get off the fence and make the right decision. And I cannot tell you what to do there. Your grandmother is saying, it's like literally she's sitting back and crossing her arms and saying, well, you know what you want to do, so get off the fence. Okay. So what's your specific question?
Well, I have three. No, we'll do this one. My specific question, since it comes up, and you mentioned the healing part aspect earlier in an earlier call. So I'm going to a clinic in Mexico to do some healing and rejuvenation work. I'm going to be there for a week, and I have an opportunity to get some stem cell treatments. And I'm just wondering if there's anything I need to know with regard to that.
I think they're going to be really good for you. Okay. I don't know what they're in regards to. You know, they use stem cells in so many things. My husband had a version of them when he had knee problems, and it rebuilt his knee. So it's a really good, you know, for some things it's really good. I guess it depends on what it is and where you're going. But
Right.
just in general, these are the cards I picked up. This says that there's either a problem with your heart or your breathing apparatus, the chest area. And this card says that the guy that you're going to is very reputable. He can handle what he's doing. He can make it happen properly. It looks good. I don't see problems with it.
Perfect. Good answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had pneumonia, so I'm glad. Yeah, the lung area, it's not healing as it used to. So good.
Well, and part of that too, you know, there are so many things, and this guy is going to give you good direction. There are so many things with health. People's health is changing right now for so many reasons. Part of it had to do with COVID and the stuff in the air, and part of it also has to do with us as a world change, literally moving interdimensionally into a different space. So
Right.
health in the future is going to be very different than health in the past. The guy that you're going to looks like he's already aware of a lot of this stuff, and he seems like he's right on top of it.
Yes, he's pretty
Yeah,
proactive.
yeah,
Cool.
it's a good choice. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And
All
folks,
right.
I think that's our hour. So until next month, and remember, we're going to meet next month on May 21st. So put on your calendar, register for the call. Remember, if you didn't get called on by Lisa and get a reading directly from me tonight, if I receive your name, your sun sign, what you're grateful for, and your simple question by tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, I will be glad to answer it. And just give me a couple of weeks to get back to you because I get a lot of those calls. Thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful week, a great rest of May, and a happy April coming up soon. Or I've got it reversed, rest of April and a happy May coming up soon. I don't know who's dyslexic on this call. I'm picking somebody up who's dyslexic, but you're going to have a good month. Good night, everyone. See you next month.